Hello my convicts and convict catchers, it is I, Thekappaconvict, and yes, we're back in Apex Legends, the training ground. Because I've had people talking a little bit about the connection and obviously the changes that they've made throughout the game. Through the updates of the seasons, they've kind of changed some things. I know some they've changed like recalls for weapons and things like that, but I especially had one person who's using linear right now, and they've even said that there's been a huge difference or change in what it used to feel like to what it is now, which is kind of weird that they actually have done this. And they're causing a lot of problems, not for only just them, but also me as well. I've had my fair share of what the hell's going on, why does it feel so weird? And definitely is a big problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you back in today, and we're going to actually go and talk about these problems and issues and see what we can do. So big shout out and salute to, where is he? Where's he gone? Hasib Gilani. I do apologize if I said your name wrong, but it's Hasib Gilani. And he's replied regarding obviously the problem, because he used to use linear and he's been using the setting because he said here, I don't know why, but these settings stopped working. There is a sway to aim movement. What can he do? You know, can I help him out in regards to that? So definitely, Hasib, we can help you out with that, and we'll go into the details of this now. So what I've basically done here, first of all, is I've gone, and I'm using, I don't know if you're using these, Hasib, but you definitely want to be trying to use maybe these more than using sort of like the linear setting within there. I could probably have a look at that as well, but I would definitely say come in and use custom controls, because it's a much better thing to use, I think, than using their version of what they're doing at the moment. All I normally do is, because I've put these as default, and it's put on the dead zones again, is take off the dead zones. Then I go down here, take off the extra yaw, take off the delay, take off the extra yaw and pitch, take off the ramp up times, take off the delays on there. So you've only got ADS, yaw and pitch, and you've only got yaw and pitch, and then you've got the uptick per settings. Have that on, because this will help obviously if you want to change these up and down. I've not used these or played with these as of yet since they're being put in, and that's all you need to do on there. And then if you feel like the response curve is too much, then obviously you can go further that way for a less sort of sensitivity, or that for more sensitivity. Now I'm in blue mode, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to have a look at aiming first, and then we're going to look at hip firing. So aiming is obviously straightforward. Just stand on here, take a shot, try and hit the target, and if you're missing shots, then you have to ask yourself, why are you missing shots? And as you can see, I went further beyond and then I'd come back. I went over here and then I'd come back. So I'm overshooting, so my sensitivity for this, for the aiming left and right, is too high. So what you need to do is go back into settings. Again, remember this is in blue mode. Go down to the bottom to where it says yaw and pitch. Now yaw is left and right, pitch is up and down. So I'm going to turn down yaw by 1 or 2. I'm going to go 2. So I've decreased my aiming speed by 2 and then try again. So go back into it again. This is all on single fire. Let me just pick up some more ammo. And then come stand on the edge again. Now you can stay with me as long as you want. I will write these down in the description below, so if you feel that you don't want to, then it's completely up to you. But I'm going to go through it and actually explain what you can do yourself to come into training ground and actually figure it out and find your best sense, because everyone's on a different type of sensitivity. Not always is everyone the same. You can go in and find it yourself. I don't know what's happening with that wire, but it's going crazy. So all you need to do is just practice trying to hit these as fast as you can without missing shots. If you're missing shots, then just bring it down just a little bit and see where we go. Also, what I normally tend to do as well is have my vertical a little bit lower than my horizontal. That way then when it comes to head glitching, people hiding behind head glitches, it's a much smoother and slower movement. If you go down diagonally and you've got a lower vertical, you'll notice that it transitions easier to getting to those head glitching spots instead of overshooting, which you probably can see there. And just try and find out, when you're hitting your shots more or less all the time, then you know you more or less got it. And then we can look at the nacon to improve just a little bit more and get it sweet, as you can see that. So what we're going to do is we're going to now go to vertical. I'm going to pull down vertical. Let's go down to horizontal just a little bit more. There you go. You have to excuse me, I'm not warmed up this morning. I'm sure I shot you, but okay. Let me just pull down the horizontal just a little bit more. Okay. Doesn't matter if you just miss just one. As long as I'm hitting most of them. So a little bit over. As you can see, more or less hitting shots. Obviously over there it's a little bit different with it on an angle. But if you just do this, just put your gun up here, and then keep your gun up here so you can't see them pop back up. And then just go to shoot them again. And there we go. Okay, and then once you've done that, what you can do then is practice doing this. And just try and find out where that needs to be as well. So let's pull it down just a little bit for the pitch. Okay, and then obviously try and hit these again. Okay. Okay, so let me turn down the horizontal again. As you can see, more or less hitting it every time now. So I've got the horizontal to where I want it to be. It's a nice place where it needs to be. And then just such as like vertical, the only sort of tests I can suggest for such as vertical is maybe trying to go from here to here to here to here to here to here and see if you can actually physically hit each one. If you can, then that seems pretty decent for me for the vertical. And I've got horizontal. So once you've done that, you found your horizontal and your vertical. Then you want to go into your hip firing one. I like to use the R99 for this one. And what you want to do is come and stand on this bit now, this bit here, and you want to be able to try and see if you can hip fire the heads. Now as you can see how fast that was. Can you see? My hip fire is all over the place. Even doing this line. Can you see I'm missing a lot of shots? What I should be able to do when he comes back up is almost kill him, as you can see on there. Let me actually put an extended mag on this. Where are they? Where's the extended mags? Let's pick up some more ammo. Right, they're here. So where's the one for the R99? That's the stock. I don't want that on the extended mag. Am I blind? I would have thought it would be. There, I am blind. Right, put this on because normally you will find these anyway, and then you just pick them up on the air. So you should be able to kill this dummy with one complete shot, which I'll show you in a moment. As you can see, so if I'm moving around now, I should be able to kill him. And there you go. Okay. But you want accuracy as well. And as you can see, my accuracy is not particularly that great with it. As you can see, I'm hitting, but I want my aim to be a little bit more refined than what that is. So we can go down here now. We need to go up to this one. So what you can do here is you want to be controlling your recoil as well as your horizontal again. So if I bring this down by 2, I'm going to pull that down by 1 and then see what we do from here. So make sure I'm stood on the thing again. There we go. Okay, horizontal is just a little bit too high. Now obviously mainly if you're gonna hip fire these, you want to be aiming for the body but I like to do the head. It's just a nicer way of trying to get that pinpoint accuracy on point. Okay, I overshot just a little bit. So if I pull down the vertical just a little bit, see if that helps. Because sometimes, like I said before, having a vertical will control this angle projection, and if you're going up or like this, obviously it will control it a little bit easier rather than going too slow for the horizontal. Okay, I'm still overshooting by a little bit. Just a little bit more, I feel. And a bit more off the vertical. Now obviously what you can do is, if you can do this for the vertical, I feel like that's a pretty decent place, to be honest. You don't want to go too far vertical because don't forget you got to look up and down. And if you are really slow at looking up and down and someone's below you, then you're going to struggle. You'll notice there will be a problem that we will deal with in a moment, that you will get with this. We'll explain that in a moment. Okay. Okay, that seems good enough. Now, if you've noticed, I'm very slow at turning around, and this is not going to be good. Because if you get into a gunfight with someone, you're not going to be able to turn to them to actually hit them. As much and as nice as this would feel for such as like doing this, for such as killing people. Right, I just need to turn down the vertical just a little bit, just to control that recoil. There we go. There we go. That's better. There we go. Can I bring down the vertical just a little bit more? About there. Horizontal just a little bit more. There we go. Now you'll notice I'm starting to slowly turn round, but we're going to fix that in a moment, so bear with me. Okay. Okay. So we're there now, okay? So what we need to do now is obviously look at why we are moving so slow. Now generally the aiming one I don't change from this point, I'll leave it here. So anything to do with the aiming side of this particular setup, I'll leave these as they are on there. So just to reiterate where these are, we'll write them in the description below what the values are for these so that you can follow it along, as well as what the sensitivity for the nacon that I'm going to use as well in here. So once we get to this point, we only need to mess about with these two now on here. We don't need to touch anything else, just these two. And you can even probably do some ramp up time if you want to add a little bit of a delay between it going faster and slower. So what we need to do now is be able to turn around. Now, like I said, I generally have it around about there. And if you've noticed, I can turn around. Excuse the red people, because the red people will do that. But as you can see, I can turn around pretty quick. You don't want to be too fast. You want to keep it nice and controlled. You want to be able to obviously shoot and not get destroyed by somebody. But as you can see, the vertical is a little bit slow as well. So we'll work on that as well. And if we come back over here, as you can see, I can still melt him pretty easily. You can see how nicely controlled that was. Even though it did kick left and right a little bit, and that's what obviously made me miss the last bit of the shots on there, as you can see. But for these kind of guns, you want to be about here anyway. You don't want to be going any further back. If you're going to be stood here, I recommend you doing that. Just burst fire. Just from this distance, you want to burst fire. As you can see, you have more chance of killing him if you do it that way. Okay, let me pick up a gold backpack just to start having to mess about picking things up all the time. Thank you. I'm just going to put this on this one as well. Just help out. Because if you've noticed as well, they've even reduced the clip size. I'm sure it used to be about 30 something that you had bullets in. Now you've only got 27. Obviously, from this distance, you might be able to do this anyway. Yep. As you can see, I can laser beam this guy with the help of, obviously, the vertical and horizontal. Very, very nice now. It's just that little bit of a kick left and right. There we go. So once you've found them, and then obviously you find where this wants to be, the only last thing you want to mess about with is your pitch a little bit as well. Now, normally I only turn pitch up by about 2 or 1 or 2 roughly, and then just do another quick test on here, just make sure that you can still hit your targets pretty well with your hip fire. Okay. If you feel like you're missing, you could always turn down the actual turning speed, because I don't need to turn too fast. As long as I'm turning enough to face people, I should be alright. Am I on this thing? Let me turn down the extra yard just a little bit. Alright. So obviously you need to be able to turn around. So, if you're like me, and you still find that you've got where you want, but you're still overshooting a little bit, but obviously you don't want to sacrifice turning speed as such, you don't want to be turning too slow that you can't have someone shooting you from behind and turn around to kill them on there, which is what is going to be a problem. You want obviously, oh, I'm getting shot at quick, let me turn around, let me shoot this guy. And that's what you kind of want to have on there. So let me just go up until we can get to that point. You don't need to be incredibly quick. Let me do it this way because the dummies are slowing me down. I think this is a good speed for me. I'm quite happy here. It's completely up to you where you want it to be. Now what we need to do is we need to fix the problem, because if I come back down here again, and because I've turned it up, I have to be a little bit more careful with my aim, as you can see here. So what we can do now is go into nacon mode and find out where the problems are, and I can actually fix them with my Nacon Pro controller here. So I think it's not the first initial tap, it's more my mediums, I think is where it's at, where the problem is. Especially if I'm trying to do this. Can you see? That's the mid ones that are doing that. That's making me fly by. So, what we're going to do is put this into red mode. Let's go to mode number 1. Let me pull this out, so you'll see my controller disconnect here. Then we plug it back into the PC. So we know it's the mids one that's the problem on here. So what we can do is wait for it to detect, go into the application. Like I said, I'll write all these in the description, so don't worry about not being able to see anything on here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to reset this back. So now it's back to 30. It's back to normal 33, 33, 34. Save this. So knowing that the mids are the problem, so I'm going to increase the mid up to about, let's go up to 36. So at the moment it's 33, 36, 31. Let me activate profiles. Okay. Right. So it's 33, 36, 31. Let me come back in. And now let's see if that makes a difference on here. So I'm still overshooting. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, so what we can do now is let's pull it back out again, go back to the Nacon app. Let's go up to 30, I'd say about 38. I don't want to go too much higher than that just yet. Okay. So we're now on 33, 38, 29. To be honest, my smalls I could probably bring down, but we're going to do it slowly and then show you. So first of all, we're trying to fix the hip fire of this, and then we'll have a look into the other ones as well. Okay. Something that's causing it to shoot over. That could be the extra pitch, which is doing that. But what we can do now is have a look on here. So what I'm going to do now, because I've noticed it's zooming, and this is where the problem of the transition from medium to big is. When you have your medium and your bigs, very, very different to each other. This is where your problem is. If you want to keep a consistent sweep of your aim over, especially if you're going from your mids into big range, there's a very fine line between where medium and big begins and ends, and this is where the problem comes. So what you want to do is try and keep your bigs similar to what your mediums are, either a bit lower or a bit higher depending where you want it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring down my smalls, and I'm going to put my bigs to the same as my mediums. So now I'm 28 for small, but I'm on 36 for medium and 36 for the big. So it's 28, 36, 36. Okay, so plug this back into my ps4, sorry. Right, so now the medium and the bigs are at the same level as each other, because transitioning from medium into big it's going to be much different if you're going to have your mediums really high, so that the joystick travel is more greater, and then your bigs are much lower, so it's much responsive. You're going to get this weird feeling of it jumping and throwing itself to the right because the bigs are too small for the medium, and you're crossing over one threshold into the other threshold, and that's causing that problem. Right, so again, let's just have a look. So I'm still overshooting just a little bit. I did undershoot a little bit. I'm guessing that's because I was trying to figure out where it's going to start. So what we can do, let's go back into the Nacon app again. Right stick. So I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm saying it's around about 40 is where it is at. So what that's going to do now is make small 20 and medium and big to be 40. Let's see what happens now. And this is what it's all about. It's just play testing a little bit, going up in increments of about 2 or 3, and then seeing where you are at that point. And then if you feel like it's too much, coming back down again, and so on and so forth. And then if the smalls are too small now and they're causing me problems, then you can start adding in the dead zone bit to obviously counteract with that as well. Okay, let me just go get some more ammo. Okay, it's throwing me out. I expected that to happen. I hate when it does this. Come on, Respawn, fix this problem. I want to be in training zone because I want to train. Not have you throw me out here, and then I've got to come back down again. Just give me a second to get back down here. Like it resets you because of you being in here for so long. I don't know why. That's just annoying. So pick that up. Swap that. Pick these up again. Pick up the backpack. And pick up... No, I don't want that, but okay. Come on, come back. Don't matter, just pick that one up. Can't be bothered. No, no waiting. Right, so let's go back to it now. Okay, still jumping a little bit. Okay, so go back to the Nacon app once again. So what I'm going to do this time round, I'm going to leave medium where they are, but I'm going to go into the large. I'm going to actually make large go up a little bit more. So if we lock that in and put that as large, let's go to about 43. So we're now at 20, 37, 43, because I feel like it's the large area is where I'm feeling it the most, because it's when I'm going over the furthest that is causing the issue of it jumping over. So now we've done that. So again, just to repeat, it's 20, 37, 43. Okay, so let's put this back into the PlayStation. Now, I do apologize, this video does seem long, but I'm just trying to help you out by giving you ideas what you should be doing, especially if you have a nacon. For those obviously using such as a controller without nacon, then what you need to try and do is kind of have that even between the Stevens, because obviously there's going to be a lot of situations where you're going to aim more than hip fire, but I like to have my hip fire better and quite improved, especially when I'm in that 1 versus 2 engagement and I need to have my speed rather than slow right down to do this and move like this, which is much slower. It's obviously a little bit more easier to do this. Right, so come back again. Okay. It's about right. It's almost about right to where I want it. Let me just go back in and pull that down just a little bit more. What we might do is decrease the smalls, because for me personally, the first touch of the small, I can normally get it down to a little bit less, to around about 15, I think, is where I feel quite comfortable with that. So what we're going to do now, I've put it down so it's now set to 15 for the small, 40 and 45. I'm going to add a little dead zone of about 4. Let's do a dead zone of 4, 15, 40 and 45. And let's see how that goes. Now obviously you might need to do it a bit slower than this, but I'm just doing it quicker because of the video. But this is just to give you an idea. And we're going to wrap it up in a moment. It's just to basically give you some ideas. And like I said, when I reach the point where I want to be, I'll write in the description below so you can try it out, rather than just going on and on and on and just continuously doing it and boring you to death. So don't worry, we're not doing it too much longer. Right, that seems good enough for me, to be honest. I feel quite comfortable with that there like that. Just do one more quick run and then that's it. Let me just turn down the extra yaw just a little bit. I feel like it's almost there. It's just the tiny little bit extra yaw that's doing me over. There we go. There we go. So I feel like that's comfortable enough. That seems good enough for me. There we go. I could probably maybe put this up just a little bit more, but I think that should be alright, to be honest. As you can see here, I can track it pretty easy enough on there. And I feel like they're okay as well. So there we have it. There's where it wants to be. And that seems pretty comfortable enough for me. I don't normally have my turning speed too high, because I like to have it nice and controlled. And that's just the way I am. But I can turn around easy enough like this. I feel like I'm quite comfortable with it being in this area. So there you have it. Hopefully that helped you out with this tutorial. I'll write down both the settings for the in-game and for on here as well. But just if you want to hear about nacon just one more time on here, and just to obviously reiterate, the radius is on 4. I went for 15 for small, 40 for medium and 45 for large. Low sensitivity slider set to low, and there we go. So 4 radius, 15 small, 40 medium and 45 for the large. And that should be good enough for you. That should work. That should get everything you need to do on there, and you should be pretty Gucci from that point. I wish it would show the values of the numbers, so then I could just go and then just go into the settings like this, go down here, put advanced control, and this is what it is. But unfortunately, it doesn't have the actual values in there, so I'll have to go through and go, right, this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then write them down. But I'll do that in the description anyway, so I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully enjoyed. This is a quick idea of what you can do with the new sensitivity and controls in Apex Legends. I'm going to go and do a gameplay as well for you, so you can see where it's at. I might need to tweak it here and there, because I feel like when you're in training ground, it does differ a little bit when you're in an actual live server from the actual training ground. I always get this weird sort of change in the setting just slightly, so you may need to tweak just a tiny bit while you're playing the game as well, just to find out where those tweaks are, if it does do that like it used to do it before. But there you have it. Hopefully enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you're new, tap that notification bell so you can be notified of all my other settings and Apex videos of obviously settings and changes and all that good stuff. And you know who it is. It is I, the Thekappaconvict, signing out. And as always, I salute you, my convicts and convicts, and I'll see you soon in another gameplay. So I'm off to now play Apex. Hopefully enjoyed, and bye for now.